You know, I was just here thinking about something. Have you ever felt like you're living life with the volume turned down? Like you're constantly walking on eggshells, carefully curating your words, your actions, your very presence, all to avoid ruffling any feathers. You've become a master of the forced smile, the swallowed opinion, the quick apology for something that wasn't even your fault. You've convinced yourself that this is what it means to be a good person, that this is maturity, that this is peace. But what if it's not? What if that peace you're so desperately trying to maintain is actually a prison? What if your goodness is just a cage you've built for yourself, bar by gilded bar? Therefore, you are not at peace. You are in a self-imposed solitary confinement of the soul. This is a dangerous and seductive lie that we have been fed our entire lives. That being nice is the same as being good. That avoiding conflict is the same as being wise. That our value lies in our ability to be endlessly agreeable, endlessly accommodating, endlessly small. We've been taught to be a calm, placid lake so that everyone else can see their own reflection in us. But a lake has no voice. A lake has no direction. A lake can be drained, polluted, and ignored. And we are not lakes, we are oceans. And it is time we remembered how to roar. This isn't just a feeling, it's a psychological trap. A trap that has been set for us since we were children. Don't do that, it's ugly. Be nice, don't talk back. You're so much prettier when you smile. We were conditioned piece by piece to trade our authenticity for approval. We learned that our anger, our boundaries, our desires, our very life force were inconvenient for others, and therefore they were bad. So we did what any child would do to survive. We adapted, we learned to perform, we became the good son, the good daughter, the good friend, the good employee. We became a character in a play that we never auditioned for. And now, as adults, we are living with the consequences of that performance. We don't know how to say no without feeling a tidal wave of guilt. We feel responsible for everyone else's happiness, even as our own is crumbling. We get disappointed, but we forgive too quickly. Not out of grace, but out of a desperate fear of being abandoned. We are exhausted, running on the fumes of other people's validation, all while pretending that we are fine, that we are strong, that we are good. But let's call it what it is. This is not kindness. This is fear. It is the fear of being rejected, the fear of not being loved, the fear of being seen as a bad person. It is the deep, primal, terrifying fear of being who we truly are, with all our messy, inconvenient, glorious complexity. And this fear has turned us into self-sabotaging experts. We call it empathy, but it's really a fear of confrontation. We call it understanding, but it's really a fear of abandonment. We call it kindness, but it's really a fear of not being enough. This mask of niceness has a cost, and the cost is your soul. It suffocates your authenticity, it strangles your power, and it slowly erodes your dignity. And if you don't find the courage to take it off, it will eventually fuse to your skin. You will look in the mirror one day and you will no longer recognize the person staring back at you. You will have become the mask. But there is a way back. And to find it, we need to turn to a teacher that most of us have been taught to fear. A man whose name has become synonymous with evil, but who might just hold the key to our liberation. Niccolò Machiavelli. If you are trying to navigate the world by being a good, moral, ethical person, hoping that others will recognize your integrity and treat you with the same respect, I have some bad news for you. Stop. You are playing a beautiful game, but you are playing it on the wrong board. Machiavelli warned us over 500 years ago that in the real world, it is not the good who win. It is the effective who win. And if you've made it this far, perhaps your soul is searching for more. Start your journey today and visit our growing library of transformative ebooks and audiobooks at wisedaily.org. The link is in the pinned comment below. Become the person you were meant to be and awaken your transformation today. Effectiveness in the brutal, complex game of human interaction requires strategy. It requires a cold, hard, and brutally honest understanding that people are not motivated by your goodness. They are motivated by their own self-interest, their own fear, and their own desire for power. In his infamous book, The Prince, Machiavelli writes, "Everyone sees what you appear to be, but few feel what you really are." This sentence is a punch to the gut of every people-pleaser on the planet. It shatters the illusion that being authentic and having good intentions is enough. The harsh reality is that people do not see your heart. They react to your appearance, your image, your impact. You can be the most just and generous person in the world, but if you appear weak, you will be treated as weak. You can have the purest of intentions, but if you do not command respect, you will be ignored. Therefore, the person who wants to take control of their own life cannot afford to be naive. You must learn to be strategic. Machiavelli says that the prince and you are the prince of your own life, must know how to use the nature of the beast. He must be a fox to recognize the traps, and a lion to terrify the wolves. This is not a metaphor about being evil. It is a metaphor about being smart. The fox is cunning. It sees the hidden dangers. It understands the subtle games people play. It moves with a quiet, observant intelligence. The lion, on the other hand, is pure presence. It commands respect not through aggression, but through an unshakable sense of its own power. It doesn't need to roar to be feared. Its stillness is enough. Machiavelli doesn't say to be one or the other. He says to be both. To be wise enough to see when you are being manipulated, and strong enough to make people think twice before even trying. Do you want to be respected? Then you need to understand the concept of virtue, as Machiavelli defined it. It's not the virtue of the moralists. It's a dynamic, masculine, and almost untranslatable concept that combines courage, intelligence, audacity, and self-control. It's the ability to act with coldness when necessary. It's the wisdom to know that sometimes appearing cruel is the only way to maintain order and protect yourself. Not out of malice, but out of a strategic understanding of human nature. He gives a chilling example. Is it better to be loved or to be feared? The ideal, he says, is to be both. But since that is difficult to achieve, if you must choose, it is much safer to be feared than to be loved. Love is fickle. It is held by a chain of obligation which, because men are wicked, is broken at every opportunity for their own advantage. But fear is held by a dread of punishment that never fails. Therefore, while you should not seek to be hated, you must command a level of respect so profound that people are afraid of the consequences of crossing you. This is not about being a tyrant. It is about being a sovereign. It is about understanding that your goodness is not a shield. Your strength is. This is where the people pleaser short circuits, because you have been taught that your goodness is your strength, that if you are just kind enough, generous enough, loving enough, then the world will be kind, generous, and loving back to you. And you have a lifetime of evidence to the contrary. but you keep doubling down on the same failed strategy. You are like a general who keeps sending his soldiers into the same machine gun fire, hoping that this time, for some reason, it will be different. It won't. It is time for a new strategy. A Machiavellian strategy. Not a strategy of evil, but a strategy of effectiveness. A strategy rooted in a clear-eyed, unsentimental, and brutally honest assessment of the world as it is, not as you wish it were. And the first step in this new strategy is to understand the weapons that are being used against you and to learn how to use them yourself. And the most powerful weapon in this entire arsenal is the one you've been taught to fear the most, your own darkness. Let's get practical. How do you apply this Machiavellian wisdom without becoming a monster? It's a delicate dance. It's about becoming a strategic altruist. You are still a good person. You still care about others, but you are no longer a naive person. You understand that your resources, your time, your energy, your empathy are finite, and you start treating them like a strategic asset, not a public utility. Therefore, you don't give them away to just anyone. You invest them. You invest them in people who reciprocate, in causes that align with your values, in relationships that are a source of strength, not a constant drain. This means you need to get very good at assessing people, not their words, but their actions. Do they respect your boundaries? Do they value your time? Do they celebrate your successes? Or are they constantly taking, constantly needing, constantly creating drama? You need to become a student of human nature. You need to see the patterns. The fox in you needs to wake up. And when the fox identifies a wolf, a manipulator, an emotional vampire, a user, the lion in you needs to act. This doesn't mean you have to have a dramatic confrontation. Often, the most powerful move is a quiet one. It's the slow fade, the unanswered text, the polite but firm no. You are not attacking them. You are simply removing your energy from their system. You are cutting off their supply. And like any parasite, when the host is no longer available, it will move on to find another. This will feel incredibly uncomfortable at first. The people pleaser in you will scream in protest. It will tell you that you are being selfish, that you are being a bad person. This is the voice of your conditioning. And you have to be willing to feel that discomfort, to sit in that guilt, and to not act on it. You have to let that part of you die. It is a small death, but it is the death that is required for your rebirth. Machiavelli also talks about the importance of appearances. This is not about being fake. It is about being intentional. It's about understanding that the world is a stage, and you are always communicating, whether you are speaking or not. Your posture, your tone of voice, the way you hold eye contact, it all sends a message, and you need to start crafting that message with the same care that a director crafts a scene in a movie. When you walk into a room, do you walk in with an apologetic energy, as if you are asking for permission to be there? Or do you walk in with a quiet, centered confidence, as if you own the space? When you speak, is your voice hesitant and questioning? Or is it calm, clear, and resonant? These are not small things. These are the subtle signals of power that people are reading on a subconscious level all the time. You need to start practicing the art of the unbothered. When someone tries to provoke you, to pull you into their drama, you do not engage. You give them a calm, slightly amused smile, as if you are watching a child throw a tantrum. You are communicating, without words, this is your chaos, not mine, and I will not be participating. This is infuriating for them, and it is liberating for you. You are no longer a puppet on their strings. You are the spectator in the audience eating popcorn. This is not about becoming a cold, calculating sociopath. It is about becoming a wise, effective, and powerful individual who is no longer willing to be a victim of their own naivety. It is about loving yourself enough to protect yourself. It is about understanding that you cannot pour from an empty cup, and that it is your sacred duty to keep your own cup full. This is the paradox of power. The more you are willing to be feared, the less you will have to be. The more you are willing to be seen as not nice, the more genuine your kindness will become. The more you are willing to walk away, the more people will want you to stay. You are flipping the script. You are changing the rules of the game, and you are starting to win. But there is one final piece to this puzzle, one last enemy to conquer. And it is the most dangerous enemy of all. It is not the manipulator, not the emotional vampire, not the wolf in sheep's clothing. It is the traitor within, the part of you that is still addicted to the approval of others, the part of you that still believes that being good is enough, the part of you that is terrified of your own power. And to truly become the prince of your own life, you must go to war with that part of yourself. And you must win. Let's go to war right now, the final war, the one that determines everything. This isn't a war against your boss, your partner, or the manipulative friend who drains your will to live. This is a civil war. It's the war against the traitor within. The part of you that is still hopelessly, pathetically addicted to the approval of others. The part that still believes, despite a mountain of evidence to the contrary, that if you are just good enough, you will be safe. This is the inner people pleaser, the conditioned child, the part of you that would rather be liked than be free. And to become the sovereign of your own life, that part of you must be ruthlessly, mercilessly executed. This is the part of you that cringes when you set a boundary. The part that replays a conversation 100 times, agonizing over whether you came across as too harsh. The part that feels a surge of panic when someone is displeased with you. This is your inner slave, and it has been running your kingdom for far too long. It has convinced you that its fear is your wisdom, that its cowardice is your kindness, that its cage is your home, and it is a liar. Why is this inner traitor so powerful? Because its roots run deep. They are wrapped around the most fundamental human need, the need for belonging. For the vast majority of human history, being cast out of the tribe meant certain death. Our brains are hardwired with a primal terror of rejection. The traitor within is not actually you. It is an ancient survival mechanism that has outlived its usefulness. It is a piece of obsolete software that is now corrupting your entire operating system. And you have to be the one to uninstall it. This is the true meaning of Machiavelli's advice to be feared. It's not about making other people afraid of you. It's about making your own inner slave afraid of you. It's about cultivating an inner authority so absolute, so unshakable, that the whining voice of the people pleaser is silenced by your mere presence. You become the lion in your own inner landscape, and the sheep learn to be very, very quiet. How do you do this? You start by catching the traitor in the act. You have to become a spy in your own mind. The next time you feel that familiar urge to apologize for something that isn't your fault, to say yes when you mean no, to swallow your opinion to keep the peace, stop. Don't act, just observe, and say to yourself, "Ah, there you are, I see you." You are creating a space between the impulse and the action. In that space is your freedom. In that space, you can choose. You can choose to obey the traitor, or you can choose to obey yourself. Every time you choose yourself, you are starving the traitor and feeding your inner sovereign. Every time you set a boundary, even a small one, you are building a throne. Every time you speak your truth, even when your voice shakes, you are forging a crown. This is not a one-time event. This is a practice. It is a daily, hourly, moment-by-moment war of attrition. And you win it not with a single glorious victory, but with 1,000 small, courageous choices. Let's bring the fox and the lion back into the room. The fox is your strategic intelligence. It's the part of you that sees the game. Let's say you're in a work meeting. Your boss proposes an idea that you know is flawed. The herd, the other sheep in the room, are all nodding along because they are afraid to challenge the authority figure. The old you, the people pleaser, would have stayed silent. You would have complained to your work friend later, but in the moment, you would have been a coward. The new you, the Machiavellian you, deploys the fox. The fox doesn't just blurt out, "That's a bad idea." That's the move of a fool. That's a direct challenge, and it will trigger a defensive reaction. Instead, the fox is subtle. It asks questions. That's an interesting approach. Could you walk me through how we would handle the potential issue of X? Or, I love the ambition of this. I'm wondering if we've considered the impact on Y department's workflow. You are not attacking the idea. You are stress testing it. You are not challenging the person. You are challenging the logic. You are appearing helpful, collaborative, and intelligent, all while surgically dismantling their flawed proposal. You are a fox, and you have just outplayed the entire room without anyone even realizing it. Now, let's deploy the lion. Let's say you have a friend who is chronically late. They are constantly disrespecting your time. The old you would have waited, fuming in silence, and then said, "It's okay," when they finally showed up with a flimsy excuse. The lion does not do this. The next time they are late, you wait for 5 minutes. Then you text them, "I can't wait any longer. Let's reschedule when you have more availability." And then you leave. You do not wait for a reply. You do not engage in a back and forth. You have acted. You have demonstrated with the brutal clarity of a lion's roar that your time is valuable, and you will not allow it to be disrespected. The fear of losing access to you will do more to change their behavior than 1,000 angry lectures ever could. You have taught them how to treat you. This is the dance. The fox, to see the traps. The lion, to establish the boundaries. The strategist and the sovereign. The mind and the presence. When you can move between these two energies, when you can be both the cunning advisor and the unshakable king in your own life, you become a force of nature. You become effective. You become respected. And you become free. This is the ultimate goal. To build your own state, your own kingdom. A kingdom where you are the sole and absolute ruler. A kingdom where your values are the law, your needs are the priority, and your peace is the ultimate treasure. And you protect this kingdom with the cunning of a fox and the strength of a lion. You are no longer looking for a savior. You are the savior. You are no longer looking for a leader. You are the leader. You are the prince, the king, the emperor of the sovereign state of you. And your reign has just begun. This journey is not for the faint of heart. It will ask everything of you. It will require you to burn down the version of yourself that you thought you were, to stand in the ashes, and to build something new, something real, something powerful from the ground up. There will be moments of doubt. There will be moments of loneliness. There will be moments when the siren song of the herd, the sweet promise of belonging, will be almost irresistible. You will be tempted to put the mask back on, to go back to the comfortable cage of being nice. In those moments, you must remember this. The comfort you are seeking is a poison. The safety you are craving is a trap. The approval you are missing is a chain. You are not a sheep. You are a lion. And lions do not ask for permission. They do not seek approval. They do not apologize for their own power. They simply are. And their being is enough. Your being is enough. So, go to war, the beautiful, terrible, glorious war of self-creation. Be the fox. Be the lion. Be the strategist. Be the sovereign. Be the artist of your own life. And paint a masterpiece. A masterpiece of courage, of integrity, of unapologetic, magnificent power. A masterpiece that is not just seen, but felt. A masterpiece that changes the world not by what it says, but by what it is. Become the prince, become the queen, and rule your kingdom. Rule it with wisdom, with strength, and with the silent, unshakable authority of a soul that has finally come home to itself.